Breaking news on the historic day in Egypt, as I just mentioned. Just a short time ago, officials there announced the results of the first free presidential election in that country. Right now, a live look of Cairo's Tahrir Square. Tens of thousands, more than 100,000, we're told at least, reacting to the announcement of Muslim Brotherhood candidate Mohamed Morsi as the winner there. He narrowly defeated the former prime minister of ousted President Hosni Mubarak. Security forces there have been on alert for fear of violence for some time now. NBC's Ayman Mohyeldin in Tahrir Square. We are going to hear from him. Ayman Mohyeldin is standing by. Ayman, what's the latest? Set the scene for us there, sir.
Well, the sun is setting, but you can see hundreds of people already pouring in. Thousands have been here throughout the course of the day. It is a very festive atmosphere, a very celebratory one. That is particularly because the supporters of the Muslim Brotherhood candidate Mohamed Morsi have been gathering here all day. They watched the announcement on the screen, they heard it, and once they did, this place erupted in celebration. There's no doubt that here in Tahrir Square, there is a sense of celebration and euphoria, but make no mistake about it, across the country, there are going to be a lot of questions, a lot of concerns about what this means. More importantly, because Egypt has now elected its first Islamist president. A country that gave birth to political Islam now has, for the first time, a leader that will be from the Muslim Brotherhood. We understand that neighboring countries have begun to call and congratulate Mohamed Morsi. He himself says he's going to resign as the head of the Freedom and Justice Party, which is the Muslim Brotherhood's political wing. He says he's also going to work with all Egyptians in appointing a vice president and a prime minister that represents the secular liberal forces of the country. But no doubt the atmosphere in Egypt after a very tense week has now changed almost instantly into one of celebration here in Tahrir Square.
Ayman, give us the rundown on Morsi. Who is he, and what is all of this going to mean for the revolution in that country?
Well, surprisingly, he wasn't the first choice of the Muslim Brotherhood. They actually wanted to appoint somebody else as the candidate, but that candidate was disqualified by the Elections Commission. So in stepped Dr. Mohamed Morsi. He is a senior member of the Muslim Brotherhood. He studied in the United States. In fact, his two children are actually U.S. citizens. He is a very well-respected figure within the organization. He is considered to be slightly on the conservative side, or the conservative wing of the Muslim Brotherhood. But since being nominated as a candidate, he says he is going to work with all the political forces. He is, by many people's accounts, a very pragmatic individual, but no doubt many people have been concerned by some of the ideas that he has put forth when it comes to social issues here in the country. But the Muslim Brotherhood in general, led by people like Dr. Morsi, have over the course of the last year demonstrated a sense of pragmatism that in sometimes has angered many Egyptians, because they have dealt with the military council and distanced themselves away from the youth of the revolution. But at the same time, many people feel that they are the most politically organized and the strongest political force on the ground, and that's particularly why they still enjoy a great deal of support among many people here.
We all read and heard what the parliament there did to the presidency in Egypt a few days ago. How is that going to affect Morsi?
Well, the Muslim Brotherhood and many people say that they are not going to be satisfied. They're not going to end these protests until the military council hands over complete power of the country to both a civilian parliament, which was elected but then dissolved, and now a civilian president. Many people have been angered and concerned by what they describe as a soft coup. That is the military attempting to retain certain powers for itself. The question going forward is, to what extent will the new president challenge the military to try and reclaim some of these powers? He's praised the Egyptian judiciary, but so far the Egyptian judiciary has given some very important decisions against the civilian leadership of this country, including the Muslim Brotherhood and the Muslim Brotherhood-dominated parliament that was dissolved last week.
Have the celebrations behind you, for the most part, been peaceful so far? We see the mass of people there. We know that there were some concerns. There have been some concerns for several days that was going to erupt in violence. Has that been the case, or are those celebrations peaceful for the most part?
Well, the biggest threat right now to the people behind me here is the scorching heat. Ambulances have been deployed around the area. There's no doubt that there's going to be a lot of heat exhaustion. For the most part, all week long, Egypt was on edge. There was a great deal of anxiety and tension. The military, for its part, is remaining clear from the area. They don't want to have any confrontation with the people. For the most part, it is right now a celebratory atmosphere. No major fear of violence at this point.
Ayman Mohyeldin, our man on the ground in Egypt, as always, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.